Yeah, thanks very much, Stace. I'm down here with 6 surfers who are collectively responsible for some of the finest moments in pro surfing history. We're going to kick off with Nathan Hedge. Hedgie, what are you feeling, mate? The car park rights or the lefts?
Oh, mate, it's just an honour to be invited to come and surf Narrabeen this summer with these guys that paved the way for us guys, you know. So it's going to be a beautiful afternoon. It's great atmosphere. Probably start on the left and head down to the right, I think. I can't not be, you know, starting on the left, I don't think. It's just too unnatural. What do you reckon?
Tommy Carroll from Newport, but you've always loved surfing Narrabeen.
Yeah, well, Cole Smith used to shape my board since I was about 12 years old. So that's Cole Smith Narrabeen. He was like a full legend. He was my hero when I was a kid. He was like the most radical surfer in the early 70s of the world. And he used to drag me out here and put me in the lineup, and he actually taught me how to drop in. So
what sort of dropping in are you talking about there, Tom?
Well, drop into the inside section nice and late. But yeah.
Good luck out there. Laura, talk us through the option to take the twin fin out.
Well, it's been a long day, and I haven't been surfing much lately because I got an eye thing, so just wanted to have some fun and be out there with some heroes. I grew up watching Damien and Hoggy here at Narrabeen, and I've always looked up to them. And then obviously Bain, Pauline, heroes, Tommy. So it's just really cool to be out there. I just want to like take in the energy of all these absolute legends.
Yeah, good luck. Robbie Bain rocking the Simon Anderson thruster. Talk to us about it.
I thought it was only fitting that I should ride one of Simon's boards. So I did ride his boards quite a bit in my younger years, and I've had a long relationship with, you know, here Duma, obviously. We travelled a lot together, and Simon was a mentor for us. Like, he caddied for me at Sunset. He lent me a board at Waimea. He shaped me a bunch of boards. I went to his wedding, and he's just, you know, he's an icon. So I thought it was just fitting that I break this out and at least try to do one good turn.
Yeah, I'm sure he's happy to see the number 3 paddling out. Pauline Menczer, the sole representative from the south side of Sydney. Have you got some good memories of Narrabeen?
I do. I haven't been here since 1995, I think it is. So I'm really keen to get out there. I don't think I'll be going those heavy shoreys though. So I've organised a jet ski ride up the other side. So I've told him not to pick anyone else up as well. So we'll see what happens.
I think you've earned your time on the jet ski, definitely.
Thanks.
Damien Hardman. Robbie Bain got you out here in 1990 in the final. Are you looking for a little bit of revenge?
Well, we're not getting scored today, thank God. So no revenge. You know, that was I couldn't forget that one. It was the only final I ever surfed at Narrabeen. But it was good to surf against Bainey. He got me in the end, but that's the way it goes.
Well, I think you might get a little bit of revenge. See how it goes. Good luck.
Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks there, Luke. And what a cracking intro to what's going to be a very, very exciting heat. Don't go anywhere. We got the Bonsoy Legends heat coming right up here at North Narrabeen.
Here it is, the lineup for the Bonsoy Legends heat this afternoon. Rob Bain had some success here at Narrabeen. Tom Carroll, obviously a 2-time world champion. Laura Enever, one of the best big wave surfers there is. Also a former CT competitor, 2-time world junior champion. Damien Hardman with a couple of world titles. Nathan Hedge, a veteran. And anytime there's a heat, Hog just finds a jersey. He just gets in it. He just finds a way. And then Pauline Menczer also getting herself in the mix here. And Pauline had some success in the event back in 94. And, man, she's got an incredible story. I loved the documentary, Girls Can't Surf. It was just amazing. Pauline was sort of one of the heavily featured identities in it, and yeah, I think everyone got a real appreciation for, you know, just how hard she had to battle to reach her dream.
Yeah, for sure. And I even saw her in the little prep before this heat. She had full weddy on and some redback boots on. And I said, are you wearing them? She said she's going to wear them for extra grip out there, but I don't know, they must have come off. And I like like you said, the underplayed rivalries in between them all, and the disclaimers of non-competitiveness. I think it's absolute schmooze, and it's, yeah, we'll see their real colours come out, because once a competitor, always a competitor, and you have to imagine the amount of competitive mongrel in each one of these people for winning world titles and things.
Amazing, just learning Pauline Menczer's story. Just had a real lack of sponsorship support, Rich, and was basically funding her travel with a lot of little side hustles that she figured out in her travels. She'd buy denim jeans when she was in the States and take them over to Europe and have sales out of her board bag. And yeah, it was a grind. It was tough. So, obviously it made it even more impressive when she was able to break through in 93 and get that world title. And she had a lot to overcome in her quest to get the crown that year, Jess.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm also excited to see the fact that Hogg did actually make his way into a jersey today, because I reckon he was one red light away from making it in that alternate spot, the one that Mihimana took off him, millisecond away from jersey time, and he's finally made it. End of the day.
Yeah, he just loves it. He relishes the opportunity to rub shoulders with his surfing heroes, and that's who he surrounded himself out there today. But Laura Enever, she was talking to us, Rich, and said she felt unworthy about being out there in this lineup. And I was like, are you serious? There's not a single surfer in that lineup that has paddled into a wave as big as you have. You have earned your stripes. So her performances at Piahi in the big wave event there, where she finished equal fourth, are legendary now.
Oh, absolutely. And, think back to the wave last winter out at
earlier this year.
Yeah, that was just incredible. Like, she's crazy. Like, really. I wouldn't go near those waves in a fit, but
it was getting judged on, wasn't it, too, for the Guinness World Record for biggest wave paddled?
Yeah, it's definitely in the running. It's a monster wave at motor down. She's already thinking about what line she can take next time. She leaves a big wave quiver over there, working with Dylan Longbottom, but I think she's on a 20 out here in the Bonsoy Surf Legends heat. And it's going to be Damien Hardman getting started early and just times that hit with the backwash.
Watch that hip, Doma.
Talk to me about Damien Hardman, Rich. As a Grom growing up on the northern beaches, his role and just how influential he was.
Yeah, my very sort of first memories of Damien was, coming down and not going to school and watching the Coke Classic unfold. And Damien was in a world title race with Barton, Tom Carroll, Tom Curran, Gary Elkinen at the time. And, he surfed all the way through that event and got the win, got the world title. And from then on, I think he was being coached by Greg Day and Terry, and trained by Terry Day at that point. And, from then on, I was like, man, this guy's gnarly. And there was so much backing from the Narrabeen crew down at Queenscliff that day. And then I kind of just watched his path and his dominance over professional surfing. But, mate, he's the Iceman, and that's his nickname. He was so calculated and ruthless in the way he performs. And, I think back to one of the Coke Classics when it was up at Narrabeen, and there was a famous manoeuvre that Duma pulled off against Tom Carroll in a heat. Damien had priority. Tom got on this left, right on the end of it. Damien was facing the breaking wall of water. Duck dived it, turned around in the whitewash, turned around, stood up, got on the wave somehow, and then got a priority interference on Tom Carroll and won the heat. So he would use the rules any way he could to his advantage, and that just goes to show you how ruthless he is in any competition situation.
I think it was Pam Burridge that described him as the Iceman. But an amazing surfer as well. And I think just with some of those tactics and his ruthful approach to competitive surfing, it was sometimes overlooked just how sharp a surfer and how clean a surfer he was.
It was amazing. And I luckily had the joy of going on tour. In the first couple of years I made the tour, Damien was still competing, and we did 2 or 3 years, I think it was, travelling around together. And I remember at Reunion Island, and this was sort of towards the back half of Damien's career, and he was still young. He was only 29 or something when he retired. And at that event, he took off on this wave and just did this beautiful carving 360. And I was just like, no way, this is amazing. But yeah, obviously growing up at Manly, travelling up here, starting to surf at Narrabeen, and just being out in the water with these guys was something special. And then, they go from being competitors to mentors, then they help you out in your career. So yeah, I've obviously got so much respect for all these guys in the water at the moment, and girls.
Yeah, I actually grew up on the north coast of New South Wales, and Pauline Menczer actually relocated up to that area. And, you know, there was a few great surfers in our region, Jeremy Biles, Matt Smith, when we were Groms, and down at Byron, obviously, Brendan Margison was kind of coming through as a junior, but Pauline was sort of she was on the CT, winning events, multiple events, breaking through for a world title, and you'd see her down at the shop, and it would just, your eyes would fall out of your head. And I remember they had at school, she was coached for a long time by one of the guys that worked at the school. He worked in the woodwork department, and his name was Steve, and he had a signed poster of Pauline up from her world title year at Sunset. And it was just a buzz for a Grom to just feel that presence in your local area. But then when I came back to the Northern Beaches and moved down here, you couldn't paddle into the surf without seeing some of these legends. You'd see Damien Hardman. I saw yourself down at Manly when you had 3 earrings and a lot of hair. And it was just such a buzz. And I see Rob Bain in the surf a lot up at North Avalon and surf board riders with him. And he has lost none of his competitive nature. And he was a character back then, and he's still a character now. And this guy, Tom Carroll, so fit still. I mean, we've had the opportunity to see him in some heritage heats in the past, Jess. Remember his performance at Pipe when he surfed in the heritage heat there and got himself 9-point rides?
Oh, he is just timeless. I mean, you're speaking about the times that you've spent on tour with them and stuff, Richie. As a Grom, for me, Tom Carroll was the first surf poster I ever put on my wall, and I remember getting into trouble for sticking it into the paint. Have a look, he's up and riding again too, but it's that infamous photo of him at Pipe, that big snap on that retro board with the helmet on. Oh, look at that slash too.
Beautiful turn.
And yeah, that was the very first poster I was allowed to put up. It was laminated, it was Dad's, and I stole it. And from then on, that was the surfing obsession beginning for me as like a 10-year-old. And so he's always been kind of that top kind of echelon of performance for me. Yeah, he's pretty incredible.
Yeah, multiple Pipe Masters victories. I think he just seemed indestructible. Surfing's first $1 million man. Signed the first $1 million contract, and he kind of was bigger than the sport, Rich. At his retirement party, the Prime Minister Bob Hawke turned up. As you see Rob Bain there, the Gamote. He's been labelled since he won his Grand Masters world title.
He's still so involved, isn't he, too? Like, he's so involved with the careers of so many current Challenger Series surfers, and have a look at this, to his credit, still a ripping style to burn here on this one. Little double hand drag.
Yeah, if there's a barrel to had, Bain, he's going to find it, no doubt.
Yeah, and he's just had an amazing career. He started out as a little skateboarding prodigy. Got sort of signed to the Coca-Cola surf team and flown all over the world, and introduced to the Dogtown crew at different stages, and then he turned his attention to surfing, and obviously made it a career. But his loving life here on the Northern Beaches still. His son Billy Bain was a great junior surfer, and then has since turned his attention to art, and he's been on fire. He's actually got some pieces in the New South Wales Art Gallery at the moment. He was a finalist in the Win Prize. That's a competition for the best landscape painting or best example of a figure sculpture by an Australian artist, and also finaled in the Silman Prize, which is a subject painting, genre painting or mural project by an Aussie artist. And those works are, really kind of focusing on his Indigenous background. Rob's wife Kath has Indigenous heritage, and yeah, Billy's on fire, doing really well.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I remember Bainey saying to me when I was a grommet, and I'd obviously started doing some of the local comps and stuff like that, and I was watching him surf one day, and he came out of the water, he walked up to me, he goes, "It's time to get keen, grommet. Come on, get with it." And it sort of was just a subtle word of encouragement, but it was for me, for him it was a passing comment, but for me it was like, oh my gosh, like this guy, one of the best pros in the world, has just told me to it's time to start getting serious, mate. And it was that moment then I went, oh, okay.
Light bulb.
Yeah, light bulb. And I just sort of kicked into gear, and it gave me that extra little bit of, energy and commitment, I guess, to chase the dream. But, I also competed with Bain. Here goes Laura.
Oh, styling on that
There's
bottom
some
turn.
nerves. There's some nerves out there, isn't there?
Probably for all of them. No question.
The beach is packed, like the competitors area and the whole deck. It's
like Friday afternoon congregation at North Narrabeen. This is institution.
That's not the sound of waves crashing. That's the sound of the Coopers VIP bar absolutely erupting for these legends. Pauline waiting for her opportunity to tap into one here. She did surf in a heritage heat up at Surfest during those regional qualifying series events, and she was ripping. She's really getting back into her surfing. She's had a lot of health issues that she's had to overcome, but seems to be really buzzing. Got that Grom-like buzz happening as we see Tom Carroll up once again here. TC, guided meditations with Tom Carroll, the best way to start your day.
I'm doing that tomorrow morning.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah, I'm locking into a bit of TC. He's very funny, isn't he? He exudes that wisdom of kind of like a Yoda-like character. He's still got so much energy.
He's a guru. And yeah, for sure. The funniest thing about Tom is he's so mellow, and then he'll just explode into this mad cackle, maniacal laugh if he hears something funny. Here is Pauline Menczer now, just dealing with the bump in the face, drives up into the section.
Yes!
Solid hit. Loses it on the finish. But Pauline, timing was spot on off the top.
It was almost, I don't know if she was almost throwing her hands up mid-claim or if it was off balance. Like, that was a real sick section. She was eyeing this off too the whole time up on the deck. Have a look at this bottom turn. Beautiful timing, and then,
She connected at the perfect moment, didn't she?
Yeah. You can hear the excited gas from the peanut gallery too up there.
Yeah.
Sure, good. Yeah, Nathan Hedge out there too. Great to have him join this mix. It just feels like these last couple of years, they call him the hog, but he's kind of been like a dog on a leash, and the prize that he wants is just beyond the distance of the leash, and he can't quite get there. He missed out by one spot in getting himself into the Challenger Series last year. He missed out by one spot in getting himself into an event which obviously he would love to be part of here at North Narrabeen. We couldn't deny him the opportunity to get out here in this Bonsoy Legends heat and show us what he's got. Ripping.
No, when you think about what Hoggy's done for the North Narrabeen club and in all the championships they've won and his contribution, and I can't think of how many times I've paddled out here and surfed Northie, and Hog's out here every single time. So, really encouraging that younger generation now too, and fit and healthy, man. He is a picture of health these days, and that in itself, at his age, is inspirational.
Had some amazing finishes in CT events on the championship tour. Got well into the top 10 a couple of times, but I'll never forget that final in Tahiti that he surfed and dislocated his shoulder sadly and couldn't actually surf it out. Jeffreys Bay, he had a big final there too. Had a magic run actually in the CT event as a wild card just the other year, and man, I think went all the way to the quarters. It's amazing.
Yeah, incredible stuff. But Hoggy's not short of enthusiasm, that's for sure. And I did 10 years on the tour, and Hoggy did most of them with me as well. Here we go.
Yeah, looking to set up this pit, grabs that rail. Just gets completely locked in that one. No exit at all. He'll head back out now.
That was a wobbly one.
Equally, I think, as influential as TC, especially for maybe the older generation that are still on the QS. I still remember going to events. Have a look at the replay there. He's set up well and just... that weird.
Just breathed on him.
But yeah, still, he was on the QS. This was 10, 12 years ago. And he was still so a part of the Australian camp, still had the flags there, and he even drove. I know myself and my travel partner were about to miss our heat, and he drove us back when we were in Spain, all the way back to our accommodation, grabbed our boards because they called it on, and then we came back. Oh, there goes Laura.
Oh, she's flying down the line. Board looks quick, doesn't find a section though.
Yeah, but he was there to the death. It was dusk, and it was some random, 3,000 event over in Europe, and he's still there with the whole Australian team. This is, like I said, 10, 12 years ago, and he's just there. He's like an older brother on tour, and he was equally as influential. He's the reason I started travelling with the flag, and those OG sprays that he used to put on his board, they're so incredible. It's just like the countryman and the spirit and the passion.
All right. Well, our competitors are just trying to find a corner out there at the moment. We're going to take a Bonsoy brew break. More to come on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the GWM Sydney Surf Pro presented by Bonsoy. I'm up here on the VIP deck having a couple of coopers with local legend Davey Cathles. We're checking out the Bonsoy Legends heat. Tommy, Hog, who we got out there, Davey?
The Hog's out there, Tommy's out there, Laura's out there, Bain, Naughty Pauline. And I'm missing someone, but
I think you nailed everyone. Mate, what a day in your hometown. You must be pretty proud to show it off like this.
yeah, it's been good. Like the car parks has been pumping all day, which is pretty unusual, but it does happen where just the car park rights just takes over all day. And yeah, it was hard to watch Dylan's heat. He went out the lefts on the dead low. The lefts were looking really good. And we were like, yes, he's going to the lefts. And then as soon as that heat started, the car park just turned back on again. And we were just like, it was a hard watch. I was whistling as hard as I could to try and get him down there, but I don't know if you could understand my whistles.
Well, as we all know, you win every heat from the bar.
Yes, exactly. It's much easier from up here.
Thanks for your time, Dave. We'll let you catch the rest of this heat. Back to you, Ron Dog.
Thank you, Stace. Laura Enever having a look at one here. It's going to be a late drop. She's going to get driven into the sandbar, but she's had way worse wipeouts than that and still pops up with a smile on her face.
Maybe a bit of seaweed in there as well. Oh, that was gnarly.
Wow.
As if she was ever going to pull back, though.
I thought she was on at the start. This part, I was on. Oh, no.
Wow.
Love it. Great reactions there as Laura pulls the seaweed out of her ears and looks to find another ride out here. Good looking wave. Look, she's having a good old chuckle. What a legend.
Wow.
Yeah, lucky enough to, call the majority of heats of Laura's career on the championship tour and be there in Maui when she actually got tapped on the shoulder and asked if she'd want to surf in the Piahi Challenge, the big wave event. She had nothing. She had no boards. She just borrowed a board, I think, off Greg Long and put on that vest. Nothing really kind of fit her. She's so tiny, and she paddled out, went straight to the apex of the peak, sat inside and swung. As we see Pauline there just stalling for the barrel. Laura on the outside. Good looking pocket here. Nice hit there from Enever. Rich has been riding down the numbers. The competitors don't know they're being judged, but Rich can't help himself. Very judgmental. Laura Enever with a great turn there, Rick.
Yeah, she's just gone straight to the lead there. I did have Damien in front from that last backhand hook that he did, but Laura's gaff right there, and that was decent. She just rolls into this thing, squares it off the bottom, holds that line, and just remember, she's on a twin fin as well, so to hold that edge through that turn, that's some talent on your law. So she's currently leading the heat.
Laura's really competitive with the big wave surfing, but when the surf generally kind of under the 6 foot range, her focus is fun and really trying some different boards, loving twin fins at the moment. And that was a great turn. She's still got it.
Oh, she definitely... I remember her jumping back on that QS. This is like a few years ago. And I asked her in some post-heat, it was this really small event, but she was going really hard. And I said, hey, are you going to even qualify again? She's like, I don't know, maybe. And you could easily see that. You could see it translate straight back onto the CT. But I think, like you said, Ronnie, the passion's just not there for the small wave stuff. And I mean, after you saw that Undone movie, you can see why. She's a whole nother level of athlete and big wave surfer, and she's completely nuts. Like,
yeah, she is.
She's just, if you haven't seen it, that Undone, the opening clip is absolutely mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, and it's one that you've got to stay in for the finishing ride. It's just
she's having too much fun
comes
in the
full
booth
circle.
with us. She wins every heat from here.
Yeah, like you said, this is an easy place to see all the excellent rides, Rich,
Yep.
and pick apart the ones that don't quite get there.
We don't pick apart them too much. Constructive criticism, let's say.
So at the moment, you are watching the Bonsoy Legends heat, and it's a great lineup. Damien Hardman, a couple of world titles for North Narrabeen, and still ripping, obviously. Big backhand blast from him. Tom Carroll's been out there. You know, Tom was just always such a gung-ho, ferocious little nugget of a human, and not a whole lot has changed. He's definitely mellowed a little bit right into his meditation, but he's just settled into that classic cruisy style as well. Never really looks like he's overexerting himself until he finds that steeper section. Damien Hardman still pinpoint with his timing. Rob Bain still as competitive as ever. Rob Bain, if you need a little bit of a kind of an anecdote to sum up what kind of character that Rob Bain is, when he was a rugby league player, he didn't like when his team had the ball. He liked having other players from other teams run at him so he could tackle them as hard as he could. And there's been some fantastic stories getting thrown out there recently on different podcasts. I remember, as we see, Damien Hardman up again. Nice little hook in the pocket there. He's going to stick with this one. Bit of foam on the face as he cruises through another backhand hit.
Okay.
But I was just going to say, just on podcasts, you know, you're hearing these legends' names, and some great stories come out. Richard Dogmarsh talking about being a Grom on tour, competing against Rob Bain and getting an interference on Bainey, and Bainey just said, "You're not going to catch another wave in this heat." And every wave that Richard Dogmarsh caught, Rob Bain dropped in on him. Even though he threw the heat away, he just did not let Dogmarsh actually perform at all in front of the crowd at all. He just drove the point home, and I'm sure frightened the hell out of Dog, and he's probably never forced an interference ever again.
Oh, gosh. We went to the Masters, actually, with Bainey, and I had a heat with him, and he was so competitive. He even apologised at the end. He goes, "Sorry, mate, I just really wanted to win that one." And he was paddling. Yeah, he won it. He paddled circles around me, and I was under the understanding that it was all just sort of gentleman's rules, and we were going to take turns. And it was we were in Brazil, and he paddled me around the rock, totally out of the contest zone. I was like, "Come on, dude, let's just surf." And he was just hadn't lost any of it. Went back to 80s, like just paddle battles, and yeah, got me though.
Love it.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, we had so much fun together. In a couple of years when I did venture north of the pipe, looks like we're going to see some rides.
Hedgie was sizing one up there. Yeah, well, you know, Rob Bain's got amazing stories to tell, Rich, much like yourself. So, some really heavy injuries that he's had to overcome, but you guys, you went through something that you can't even imagine going through with one of your mates, and that's getting swept through the jungle at G-Land by a tsunami.
Yeah, tsunami, brother. So we were over there for a shoot for Hot Tuna. We were both riding for Hot Tuna at the time, and we'd been in Bali for a few days, and then we got to G-Land. We were going to spend a good week there, and the night we arrived, they had a massive earthquake off the bay at Grudgingen, and this tidal wave just came and wiped out the camp, and yeah, we got absolutely pummeled. But it was a really crazy and heavy experience. He's Bainey up and riding now.
Yeah, a couple of nice little hits, clean flow happening here, good little flow.
Some nice surfing, yeah, but it was a really heavy experience, and yeah, we shared that. You know, we shared a number of funny photo shoots together.
Yeah, the Hot Tuna days. I remember that.
Yeah,
seeing
you
guys, you, Bainey, Neil Purchase Jr., Bo Emmerdon, Shane Herring, all chained together with safety pins.
Yep. Yeah, so yeah, we were both on the same surf league team. We won a couple of surf league titles for QBC. So yeah, I've been through a lot with Bainey, and consider him a really good friend.
Awesome. Must be special for you to obviously be working at these events, but to also see these individuals all get back together. They have shared, magic moments, travelling the world together, chasing big event wins.
Yeah, when you travel, it is like a family atmosphere. Everyone looks after each other, and the competition's one thing, but at the end of the day, you all get together and you have a beer and you enjoy each other's company. And for 10 to 15 years, these are the people that you're spending more time with than anyone else. More than your family back home, you're travelling them, going through all these really wild experiences. You can't help but get close to these people.
Jess, I know you can speak to that, your competitive years, just exploring the world and forging friendships that are going to last a lifetime.
Oh, how was that drop? Oh, sorry, I got a little distracted. Exactly what Rich said too. You go around the world and you do it mostly as broke surfers. Look at this thing. Oh, nice looking wave for TC there. Just smooth.
So smooth.
So smooth between those transitions. I'm really actually super taken back by the smoothness and the flow from all of those goofy footers there. But yeah, you travel around the world and you pretty much broke surfers the whole time, unless you're right at that top of echelon of a couple of world titles, and it's just fun. You're just surfing, you a lot of the time enjoying the nightlife of a different country every week, and you just meet a lot of really cool people.
So Tom Carroll here on the replay, just as smooth as, just like, most of these surfers all love to really now experiment with different equipment, since they're not focused on winning heats all that often, and not unusual to see Tom on a plethora of different boards.
Oh, he's got more boards than anyone. Here we see Duma up and riding.
Yeah, just driving up into this one. Look at the way he just cuts through these flatter sections. Just in cruise mode out here at the moment. And the style of all these individuals has really accentuated and become a lot more apparent since they stop competing. They just take their time, they pick their moments. It's never forced. It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, we're starting to see a bit more action here. The old bones are starting to warm up.
Yeah. Might be sore tomorrow.
Yeah, they could be.
Rob Bain there just getting closed out on.
Look at the glass off. It's really good signs for tomorrow. And predictions were right today, Ron. I'm going to tell you it's going to be just super clean tomorrow. Beautiful offshore winds in the morning and most of the day.
Magic sunrise and capping it off with a spectacular sunset. Laura Enever just can't quite get into this one. She wants to let go of another one of those big calves. So that way, just getting away from her. Bonsoy, great supporters of the Australian leg, and what a fantastic treat for all of us that they've been able to pull together these legends to throw out into this lineup, which has just been really providing today. We're going to have a spectacular post-show for you, revisiting some of the amazing rides that went down here on a fantastic Friday, we'll call it.
Yeah, super stuff. It's Hedgie and Tom are in a bit of a paddle battle down there. It's like Tommy got the best of it.
It's going to be the last rider of the Legends Heat, featuring a number of world champions and some of this region's best. And just always a real pleasure to see these individuals and just bathe in their glow, their soul glow. They all give off positive vibes. I'm sure the Groms in the area and even their folks we're buzzing to see him hit this lineup here today. Here we go, Rob Bain making his way in, finds his best ride after the hooter. But he won't mind because it's not a competition.
Yeah, right.
He'll just be glad to put on a show. I think that's where the nerves are for these individuals. They're used to going out there and just putting on such a fantastic show, and when a crowd's there just watching you perform, you want to do something special, and we did see some great moments out of it. We're going to take a quick break here. You've just seen the Bonsoy Legends Heat, and we've got the WSL post show to come. Stay with us.